Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today, we got Brandon.
Hello.
We're here to talk about games and things.
Games and things.
All right. What's on the agenda today?
I played some games. There were some updates to old games, some new games, but not really. And I watched a movie.
All right. Well, that's fun. And that's the other things. We got Nintendo Music released. I'll go first because I think I have technically the newest game here. So even though it's
technically, yeah.
So Shadows of the Dam Hella Remastered came out this last week. So I'm somewhere in the third act right now, which I think is about halfway.
Okay.
I'm probably not quite there, but I'm in that general vicinity at least. So far, so good, I would say, in terms of how it plays. So even before I started, I did see some reported like technical issues with it.
Yeah, that's kind of kept me away a bit, but
honestly,
please do tell.
Yeah, in my opinion, like it just seems like doesn't seem like Switch issues. It seems more like Unreal issues, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Are they using Unreal Engine 5 or Unreal Engine 4?
No, 4 still, because I think that's what the original was done on.
Yeah, okay. But here's the thing. People have got to learn Unreal Engine is dog shit. People have got to learn it. People have got to learn it. And until they do, we're going to keep having these games that show up that used to run really well that now run like dog shit. And they've got to learn. Unreal Engine is trash.
I would say, though, in this case, like, I don't think it runs any differently than it did on PlayStation 3, which is what I played it on originally.
Okay, that's understandable, but here's the thing. That was like 15 years ago. Yeah, that was a long time ago in general. Exactly. I don't think that's acceptable. That's my main thing. It's the same goes for Lollipop Chainsaw. Don't think it's acceptable because it also has really bad performance issues. And they're both using Unreal. So like, come on.
That's true. Although I think in this case, like, I don't think this one was as much of a rehaul as Lollipop Chainsaw was. But yeah, I saw like maybe a little bit of slowdown in some like strange situations, and also that like I almost feel like it's stereotypical kind of like Unreal screen tearing. Those are kind of the things that I saw. Otherwise, I actually thought it ran pretty well, at least on a technical standpoint. And like I said, at least playable. My biggest issue with the game actually has to do with the controls, and it's not with the gameplay, or not with the performance. Just because I don't know why. It's very strange, and I don't know if it's a setting. I tried playing around with it and couldn't do it. The camera, like the right stick, is very floaty. So it just kind of keeps turning after I'm like for like a millisecond after I move the stick, which is kind of like slightly disorienting because you expect it to stop at one place and it just kind of keeps on going a little bit. The game does feature motion controls too, though, so it's possible that maybe I had just missed it, but it seems like it's more just kind of the sensitivity of the stick is just kind of little extra. But otherwise, at least as far as I've played so far, everything seems to, like I said, runs at least on par with how it had run previously. Game is still very funny. Doesn't seem like, at least in terms of remastered stuff, didn't seem like there was anything very significant on the Switch version thus far. Although, like I said, I do know that they added like New Game Plus and things like that down the road. But otherwise, I mean, really, it's just been kind of a nice kind of, going back to the game, because it has been a while. I don't think I've played through it since we did like the community playthrough, however many years ago that was. So, yeah, so it is very fun. And I always do forget about a lot of those just random quotes and stuff that they have. So it's just very funny. I do really enjoy this game. I do recommend at least Shadows of the Damned platform. Look into it. See
I'm probably gonna get it.
I'm happy just having it portably and whatever. I mean, that's always
I'll probably get it on Steam Deck because portably there.
How does it run on? Do you know how the PC performance is?
I have no idea. I haven't looked into it yet. That's why I'm kind of holding off and waiting. I just don't feel like looking into it. I've got enough things to play right now. I'm fine.
That's totally reasonable. Actually,
it's rated very positive, so apparently it works pretty well. It has unknown rating on Steam Deck, so I don't know how it does on Steam Deck. Let's do a quick check real quick. Let's see, Steam Deck. I don't know. It seems there's different issues that people are reporting.
And it is still like super new.
Well, not only that, but it's not listed as being Steam Deck verified. So
Yeah, so it might need a little more time.
I don't know. $25 for it seems like a pretty decent deal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic game. Even if it does still retain like PS3 era, issues. $20. You really can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some reviewer, I don't fucking know who it was, but some reviewer like docked points because of the comedy in the game. They're like, this kind of lowbrow comedy does not belong in modern gaming. It's what sets us back from games being considered art. And it's like, bro, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna be real. I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm gonna be real to whoever that reviewer was. That kind of shit is what literally sets us back when stuff like that happens. Like, it's not. You can't be snobbish and then be like, oh, this game that came out way back when or whatever, or this game that's clearly supposed to be a lowbrow kind of comedy, haha, hee hee tee hee sort of game. It should also be gritty and mature like our Last of Us and our fucking other kind of games that are releasing nowadays. No, go fuck yourself. Shut the fuck up. Not every game needs to be fucking generic and fucking neutered like those.
Yeah, I also think too, like I think comments like that, I mean, really do what's the word I'm looking for? Really don't have a place in reviews. Like I think reviews should be more not opinion pieces, but really try to like talk about like the measurable kind of like um goods and bads with a game. And I could see like saying like, hey, this language might not be for everyone. The jokes here might not be for everyone. It's stuff that we don't see necessarily in games these days. But don't shove your opinion down and be like, oh, this is not welcome in games anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it literally, like, the review literally sounded like a no fun allowed kind of deal, and I was just like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, you make me embarrassed to like games because when there are people like you who are preaching this kind of horse shit, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Interestingly, and just because I don't really have anything else to say about Shadows of the Dam, unless you have any other questions. So I'm sure I'll be talking about it again next week.
Nope.
But actually, another game that I don't know. Did you see the reviews so far for Mario and Luigi Brothership?
I saw that IGN gave it a 5.
Yeah. So I've obviously not played this game yet. But I fundamentally disagree with this review getting a 5, just kind of up front on its own. Because I feel like a game like a 5 should have some pretty like critical flaws. It just kind of sounded like the game just had some issues, had some performance issues. They weren't really a fan of the writing, but it doesn't sound like it was unplayable. What does IGN's like 5 score even mean? Let's see. It says bland, unremarkable game they mostly forgot about. Something you should not spend your time or money on if you consider it to be precious. But it'll pass the time if you have nothing better to do.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's a bit true. Especially when you on the flip side, when you have places giving it like 9s. And the Metacritic came out to like, at least when I checked yesterday, it could have changed. It was like 80. So it was not like this game's like has like wild issues. So we'll see. I'll report back. I did see that there is some performance issues. The one legitimate complaint that I saw was there's some performance issues that may affect the timing during battles or sequences that require like precision and pressing. That is entirely justifiable. Like if that's an issue there, yeah, that's messed up if it's causing you to miss up like those attacks. Like for example, with like the bros attacks, like if you miss one of those prompts, then the whole thing's just kind of ruined. So, yeah. So if there's performance issues there, totally justifiable. But at least from what I've seen so far, I feel like a 5 is just like really overly critical for the sake of being overly critical. That it's kind of like What was the really infamous GameSpot review?
Which one?
Well, what was it? One was Hitman. I remember that back in the day.
The Too Much Water?
No, that was IGN. That was Pokemon. But even Too Much Water got like a 7.9 or whatever.
7.8 out of 10.
Yeah. Still much better than this, apparently. So I don't know. We'll see. Last thing I want to talk about is actually related to news. Because Nintendo just spontaneously released a music app this week.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah. It's pretty decent.
I haven't used it yet because it's only on phones.
Yes, currently.
And I don't really care to use my phone to listen to music. I'd rather be able to listen online. Now, if I could like link my Nintendo account and listen to it online, we'd all absolutely be in business. I'd be listening the fuck out of that. But
honestly, I'm surprised if they've not done that. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they do consider it at least too.
They need to because yeah.
Well, I mean, I think this is them finally being like, hey, we noticed we've been doing a lot of takedowns on our music, so we thought that maybe we actually would try to actually fill that void and give you a reason.
I thought this was more of, hey, we needed a reason to be able to do more takedowns on our music. Here's our reason.
I don't think you give them reason to do more takedowns, but I think it's more of a, this is them trying to be nice while they're doing takedowns. They'd be like, hey guys, look at we're like, this is what. Well, I guess maybe it's the same thing that you're saying. I think it just depends on who you think they're talking to. I'm
just looking at them as Nintendo talking to just Nintendo being Nintendo. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, and they are, and so it's, but it does have some interesting things for music app. I do like, so a lot of the songs actually give you the ability to like extend them out time. So you could take like a song that maybe would normally last like a minute, and you can extend it out to 60 minutes. I think at the longest. So like if there's a song that you really like, and a lot of video game music's already designed
Bramble to be Brush.
Which one?
Bramble Brush from Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, Sticker Brush Symphony has also been a very popular request. They just put out the Donkey Kong Country 2 soundtrack yesterday. I just got the notification for it today. And subsequently, actually, even since last week, they put out Super Mario Wonder soundtrack as well. That's a little more promising, because I was really worried that they were going to do like the Virtual Console drip with this as well. I mean, they started with a decent amount of soundtracks. I want to say it's somewhere in like the 20s of tracks that are, or albums that are already there, and with a nice variety too. And they're like, more to come. But you know how they usually are with like NES stuff or whatever.
Oh yeah.
NSO. They're like, all right, it's been 6 months. Here's random third-party game you've never heard of before and didn't care about.
Yep.
Yeah. So, so they put this out. I'm trying to think what else. That they have some different playlists on there, some random assortments of music too. Like they have, obviously, I just talked about a couple games that were really popular that are on there, but they also have like the Wii menu music, like that's on there, like the whole soundtrack from the Wii menu.
Good. That's good.
Yeah. Tamagotchi Life has its soundtrack up there. So some stuff that you wouldn't normally think of, and most franchises have at least one game on there. So there's a little something from Mario, a little something from Zelda, a little something from Star Fox, a little something from Metroid. So I think one of the biggest winners is all of Mario Kart 8 is on there, because that's a fantastic soundtrack. So there's that. But yeah, honestly, it's a pretty cool app. I think it has some neat features in there too. It seems like they're at least going to try to update it regularly, so that's pretty good. Did you have any questions on it? I think I can answer.
No, not really.
No. The other thing I think too, and I was thinking about, I'm like, it is interesting. I don't know if they will get this, but I would bet money that they do. I bet somewhere this thing has caused someone to pay for NSO without playing online, period. Maybe even not having a Switch. I would bet. I don't know how big that number is, but I'm sure it's probably not zero. I guess because some people do like video game music. Like, if you think about it, like access to a lot of Nintendo's like soundtracks for $20 for the year, it's not really a horrible deal. So Listen, I'm sure there's probably someone, not a lot, but I bet money at least one person. All right. Anyways, that's legitimately all I have to talk about.
Okay.
I'll talk
about my stuff then. Which should I start with? You know what? I'm gonna start with Fortnite. They had a new season that started this week, and it's entirely revolving around Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Ice Spice.
Oh, okay. So this was not the Japan one that I saw. That must be
no. That's future. That's a leak for the future. This involves rap artists basically, and it's been an interesting season already at the start of it because it's fully we got lowriders with fucking hydraulics and everything in the game. There's some crazy shit, and literally Snoop Dogg as a skin that you can use. So again, some crazy shit in Fortnite. And one of the funniest things that I thought was there's the Snoop Walk, which is literally just a modified version of the Crip Walk that is an emote in Fortnite, which really made me laugh because it's like, damn, some kid's gonna Fortnite emote in the wrong neighborhood and get shot.
Yeah, apparently.
But anyway, no, it's actually been a really fun season. They brought back season 2 in the reload mode from 2021, 2020, something like that. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But it's been fun. I've been really enjoying it. I played a bit of it. They have not adjusted the XP because normally when you do XP missions, the XP missions are per mode. So you get XP for Save the World, you get XP for Battle Royale, you get XP for Music Mode, you get XP for Racing. I kind of accidentally, with the new XP, finished everything in 2 days, and I wasn't even trying because XP goes across every mode. So if I earn XP in the Music Mode, that goes to my Battle Royale also. So I've finished everything in just a few days. It's been they're definitely gonna nerf it because it's ridiculous how fast you can get XP in this new update. It's been fun though. It's been really fun. They have a new chain gun that's coming out that sings the lyrics to Rap God when you fire it. So the Sumalama Do, that part where he raps really, really fucking fast, the fastest part of the song, the chain gun at every bullet you fire, it spells out those lyrics as a thing that comes off in the smoke and everything. It's kind of cool actually.
Pretty interesting.
And this battle pass is only lasting a month, where normally it's 3 months or so. Or at least 2, but this one's only a month long, so it's super quick and fast battle pass. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'll be interested to see what they do with the rest of it before the end of the month, because supposedly they have some upcoming stuff that has to do with live concerts and shit towards the end of this season. So we'll see what that is. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been good. It's been really interesting because it's been a lot of hip hop stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely different from them. But I think that's the thing that's nice about Fortnite. I mean, I haven't played it, but even I'm always kind of surprised by what they have going on. Sometimes it seems kind of logical, and sometimes it's wow, this is crazy shit I never would have expected. Yeah, that's fun.
Having gang symbols in a children's game is pretty wild.
Yeah, crazy shit I would have never expected. Exactly.
But I really enjoy it. I made a new loadout. It's called Alan Wake and Bake. And it's Alan Wake with the back blink from Resident Evil of the green herb. And then his emote is the Crip Walk. So I
now
kill people.
Now you're just asking for it.
It's really good though. I've been really enjoying the season. So yeah, it's a good season.
Okay. What else?
I'm still laughing. I'm sorry. I did. The new Vampire Survivors DLC came out, which is the Castlevania map.
Yeah, how is it? I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
It's so cool. So let me explain a few things that make this different from any other map.
Okay.
It is fucking massive. It is so big, you can't explore the entire map in one run. You cannot explore the whole map in 30 minutes. It's literally impossible.
Yeah, it looks massive. It looks way too big.
So what they have is every time you defeat one of the bosses, you unlock a teleportation point. And when you start out the game, your next run, there's a teleporter in the bottom left-hand corner at the start of the run, and you walk in and out of that teleporter to go to different parts of the map. So you can get yourself straight to like the end point where you were at last run, after you've gone through one run, and continue from there. And I really like the idea of this because it makes it really, really fun to explore the whole map, because it's like massive and it gives you reasons to continuously go back to it and whatnot, other than really just trying to figure out how to get to like one, a coffin so you can unlock new characters and whatnot. But I'm really, really enjoying this one. I think this one is probably their best DLC yet. The music is amazing.
I would hope so. It's Castlevania.
It's Castlevania. Exactly. The gameplay is fantastic. Like I've just been really loving this one. It's like I said, it's super big. It's a huge map, and there's lots of little secret areas and whatnot. But like, because of the teleportation option, it doesn't make it feel overwhelming, and it's really just really enjoyable to explore.
It's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'm really excited. And that teleportation thing, that's awesome. That's like huge. There's honestly even a couple maps that already exist. I wish they would add that back.
Yeah, I like the fucking Japanese one. That one's so big. I wish that they could add it to that, honestly.
Yes, that map is way too big, and it's too easy to get kind of like. So you can't, if I remember, I don't even think you can do like a full loop on it. Like you have to kind of go like down and around and like up to get certain places.
Yeah.
So it becomes like a huge hassle if you kind of go one way, and then they're like,
it kind of becomes like a maze in a way. And yeah.
Even the Contra map is kind of has some like kind of unwieldy bits as well.
Yeah. So there's some really hidden things in the Contra map too.
Yeah,
and it's the same here in the Castlevania. There's some really hidden things here, and I'm still trying to figure out everything. But other than that, like, it's just a really enjoyable map to play. Highly recommended. If you have all the rest of the DLC already, even if you don't and you just like Castlevania, this map is fucking awesome. It's really cool the way you unlock many of the characters, because some of the ways that you unlock the characters, which in this game it tells you when you like highlight over a character, unlock this character by doing this, that, and the other, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a new feature, I think, from one of the more recent updates, which is fantastic.
Yes, I think it was the Contra one that did it, or it might have been the Among Us. I'm not sure which one, but either way, one of those did it. And having that feature is really cool because it lets you see how to unlock some of the characters. And it seems like most of the Castlevania ones are defeating a boss as the character that would fight that boss in the actual Castlevania game. Okay. So I thought that was actually like pretty neat, pretty canon,
yeah, nice
kind of
throwback.
Cool. Yeah. I really like it. It's super fun. Highly recommend it. I need to dive more into it, but I've been addicted to Two Human. Listen to me. Sorry. Once Human. God, I'm saying Two Human. Once Human, which that's a game that I need to give its own like entire day to talk about. That game is. I've continued diving into that game, and I really enjoy that game. But I'll talk about that one later, some other time, because I got other games to talk about. Call of Duty had a double XP weekend for its first week this week, and I was able to grind out a bunch of things. So I grinded out a bunch of things in zombies, and then in multiplayer, I grinded out every single sniper rifle. I needed 1,500 kills. And it took a very long time. But the double XP weekend made it a little bit easier because I was able to level up the weapon faster, which allowed me to get all the attachments faster, which allowed me to kill people faster. I think my best game this week was 19-1. So pretty good. But yeah, I think Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is really fucking good. Like, now that I've spent like a lot of time playing Black Ops 6, both zombies and multiplayer, I can safely say this is legitimately the best Call of Duty since Black Ops 2, which is crazy because that's like 10 years ago. So like this is a really good game.
Yeah, and that is pretty impressive. You've definitely been really into this one much more than you have been I can't even think of the last one that I remember you talking that you liked. Like, it's been so long.
Yeah, and it might be the fact that, again, they haven't got all the operators out and all this other shit and everything. But that could ruin the game. But
Yeah.
I do think this is just a really good, really good game.
Yeah,
So when did
hopefully
Black Ops 2 come out? Let me see when Black Ops 2 came out. 2012. Okay, all right. So 12 years ago. That was the last time a Call of Duty has been this good. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Who knows? You probably won't get it again next release, but hopefully they at least keep it going.
Yeah. The thing is, like, everything's good with this, though. The campaign's good, the multiplayer's good, and the zombies is phenomenal. So, like, honestly, I did see some places that had it, like, nominated for Game of the Year, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like, it's been so long that I've agreed with seeing a Call of Duty or first-person shooter other than Doom being nominated for Game of the Year that I'm, like, looking at this one, I'm like, that's fine. Like, it's not going to win, but it having a nomination seems totally fair.
Yeah, totally.
There's a lot more games that are nominated for Game of the Year that I believe deserve it more, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So yeah, last thing. I saw Terrifier 3.
How did you like it?
I think it's the best out of the entire series.
You think so?
Yeah. I loved it. It didn't outstay its welcome like Terrifier 2. I felt like Terrifier 2 kind of was really long and its pacing was a bit off. But I really liked Terrifier 2 also. But it felt like a long movie. This movie did not feel long at all. It felt very fast, very quick. Like everything was happening in quick succession, and I didn't even realize it was a 2-hour-long movie because it didn't feel like it. And I really enjoyed my time with this one. And I thought the fact that it relied heavily on storyline and continued storylines from the past movies, and it all made sense, and how well David what is his name? I gotta figure it out again because I always forget it. Art the Clown's actor, David Howard Thornton is so good at emoting without saying a single fucking word as Art the Clown. Absolutely. And I think it really showed in this movie specifically, like especially the entire scene where he was with the Santa Claus in the bar. That entire scene was incredible. And also, there were a lot of like really comedic points in this movie that had me laughing my ass off when I definitely should not have been, but I still found it funny. Like, did you catch the point in the opening scene where he like murders the entire family, but then he decides to do their dishes for them? Put them away.
It was so random.
So funny. I love that scene so much. This scene, this was my favorite. This was my favorite out of all three, and I thought it'd be really hard to top the first one because I think the first one is a fucking masterpiece, but I think this is even better. Like, this is great. This movie was awesome. It deserves its. I think it's at like 62 million. I was wrong about the 78 million before. That was the projected thing, but we're at 62 million right now, and it deserves it. The movie only cost 2 million to make, and even so, with all the like practical effects and everything, it still looks really fucking good. Like really good. Like all the models they had for like the kills when he like smashed the heads and stuff and everything. It looks so good. I loved this movie. It was great. It was a great horror film. We got some really banger horror movies this year. Like absolute fantastic ones. If you haven't seen them, Longlegs, Late Night with the Devil.
Don't know that one. Actually, I don't think I've really watched any this year. So
oh, absolutely. Okay, all right. Longlegs is a horror movie with Nicolas Cage in it. So that's.
Oh yes, I know that movie now.
It's really fucking good. It's really fucking good. Yeah. Late Night with the Devil is great. It is a movie where a late night talk show host brings on a girl who is supposedly possessed by the devil. And then it spirals out of control, and it's all shot like you're watching the late night talk show TV episode. Very good. And it's like from the like 80s, so it's like very nostalgic kind of. Very, very good movie. And the Alien Romulus is really good too, if you're into the Alien films. fuck, like we had some really good ones. My friend watched one this morning that he said was fantastic. I haven't got to watch it yet, but I believe it's called The Substance. Like all of these movies are like really good horror films that came out this year. So yeah, look into some horror movies that came out this year, because like there's a lot of them. There were a lot of really good horror movies this year.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of kind of update, I did finish up Creepshow season 3, and that was really good. I did enjoy it. Yeah, they had some pretty good episodes in there. I think maybe like 2 or 3 stinkers, but not episodes, but just kind of skits. But I think everything else was really good, so I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, you got anything else to talk about? Oh, you got some news written. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got some news written, some interesting news, but I do. So some people have gotten their hands on the PS5 Pro, and they're not journalists. So there's been some leaks. Yes. For instance, Alan Wake 2 on the PS5 Pro runs worse than the base PS5 version.
Okay, random.
Yep. So that was interesting. There's been some other things. Like some games run very, very well. Like Gran Turismo 7 runs phenomenally, apparently. But like there's some other like standout titles that just don't do so good. Alan Wake 2 and Elden Ring were the two in particular that on PS5 Pro actually ran worse than base PS5.
Okay.
So yeah, there was also a like spec sheet that leaked. And the spec sheet that leaked has been confirmed to be correct by Digital Foundry, and like the specs of the PS5 Pro are actually significantly worse than what we were told they were.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
how bad are we talking?
Like I think it was like 32 teraflops was supposed to be it, and it's like 16.7.
Okay, it's about half.
Yep. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. The CPU again isn't really enhanced in any way whatsoever. So any game that would be CPU bound, which are your open world titles, so think GTA 6 whenever it does come out, or games like GTA 5 now, or games like Dragon's Dogma, Dragon's Dogma 2, which released this year, which great game by the way. If you haven't played it yet, you definitely should. Those games that are CPU bound, the PS5 Pro is not going to do anything for them because it doesn't have an upgraded CPU. So it's still going to be locked at that 30 FPS, but it'll look prettier now. And in some cases, they're like pushing these games really hard, right? With the upscaling with PSSR, which is their version of AI upscaling, similar to DLSS or FSR. Yeah. And apparently it is just a hook of FSR. But the upscaling tech, they're pushing it so hard that in some cases, they're actually making the performance worse of the game while making it look better, but the performance is worse than the base PS5. So if your game is performing worse, but it looks better, maybe pull it back some? I don't know. Like it seems like they haven't really dialed this in correctly yet. And again, these people that have this, that have been putting out videos on it, they are people that are not in the industry. They just are people that got their systems early and have been like doing videos because of that and everything. But it's not looking good. But we'll see how it is when it officially launches, I believe this weekend. I think it's Friday it officially launches. And I think people got theirs yesterday, and the video started coming out this morning where people were testing the frame rate and stuff like that. And it was no bueno on quite a few games. So, yeah.
Maybe it just needs a system update.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe the system itself needs a system update. Hey, maybe they just need to make a PS5 Pro. Yeah. And then we'll be...
Yeah, we'll get a PS5 DD that you have to attach underneath it.
Yeah.
And that provides stability.
Extra $500.
Yes.
Yeah,
also, it increases the output as well. You can do 12K. If you do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. So the last thing I wrote here, which I thought was really cool, was there were some hidden puzzles that are new puzzles in Silent Hill 2 Remake. And the last like major one got solved this weekend. Someone figured it out. It had to do with decoding a bunch of pictures to find a message And for those who haven't played Silent Hill 2 ever, this is my warning, because this message changes the entirety of Silent Hill 2 forever. So if you don't want to know what it is, maybe don't listen for like the next 10 minutes or so. So the decoded message ended up being, "You've been here for a decade," confirming the theory that Silent Hill 2 and what the horrors that James Sunderland has been going through in Silent Hill 2 have been happening forever. He's stuck in his own personal hell, continuously looping over and over again. That's why every single dead body that's in the world is him, because it's where he failed his loop and died in different loops. And this game is technically, potentially, maybe a sequel to the original Silent Hill 2, and that's why this has a few different pieces here and there from the original, because of the fact that it's a different loop that James went through compared to the original Silent Hill 2. So this game kind of confirms something that has been a theory in the community for 20 plus years now, and it's super fucking cool. And they got the blessing from the original developers of Silent Hill to do this. So nice. This is them kind of confirming something that's been a rumor and been a theory among the community in Silent Hill for a very long time. And yes, every dead body that you see of James's in the world is from when he failed his mission initially or died in some horrible way. And every loop is essentially a different Silent Hill 2. And that's why this remake is actually technically a sequel or just a spin-off of the original Silent Hill 2, because it's a different loop. So that's super fucking cool. I thought that was really neat.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, it seems like it was very thoughtful. Look at that. They did really think through some of these things.
I'm very impressed, and I already said it once, and I'll say it a second time. I fully will eat crow. I'll put that boot right in my mouth and chew on it, because I fucked up. I went off on a major rant about how this game looked from the outside looking in, because they did show like some pretty shitty trailers that made it look like it was all combat and all kind of garbage, and they really left out a lot of things that made it look like Silent Hill. So of course I went off on a rant, because I care a lot about the series. I think the series is fucking fantastic, and there's a lot of nuances here and there in the series, such as the one I've just mentioned, that makes the series very important. And the fact that they were able to get even that aspect of it correct is very impressive. And again, it just goes back to them being like, yeah, we're done making shit games. And I'm actually very happy for them. I'm happy that they've decided, hey, we can just make good games now. And it seems like that's what they want to do.
Yeah, that's good. Hopefully, yeah, Konami's not been
I'm talking about Bloober Team, not Konami.
No, I'm just talking about Konami in general, because they really have, you know, if the publisher's not, if the publisher doesn't care, then who else is going to care, you know? Because there definitely has been, I would say, a period over the last decade that Konami clearly has not cared.
Oh yeah, that's why we had hashtag fuck Konami trending for quite a while. You know? And you know, they hated Kojima. They didn't let him go to the Game Awards. They locked him in a fucking room and wouldn't let him leave. I mean, let's remember that shit. Remember, they fucking kidnapped a man.
Yeah, exactly. And then he couldn't get it out of there as fast as possible. So, yeah, interestingly, it sounds like too that I'm assuming it's Konami, but it sounds like someone had hired David Hayter recently to play Snake again. So, seems like
that's already been confirmed. It's already been confirmed he's playing him in Snake Eater remake, and that game looks fucking good, like really good.
Well, they had him record new lines though, so I wasn't sure if it was that game or not.
Oh, okay. Maybe new stuff in the Snake Eater remake? Who knows?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So, I don't know. If it's that, it's not as exciting. If they're using Snake in something else and they wanted his voice for that, that would make more sense. Yeah. So, that's it. All right. What else you got to talk about?
Nothing.
Okay.
I got nothing.
All right. You ready to wrap up then?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, YouTube, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also check out our website, game-crunch.com. It has all of our old episodes. Or if you want to send us an email, gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon.
Yes.
Any final thoughts?
Nope. I got nothing.
Well, I guess on that note then, my name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me online on Clash of Penguin there or on your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game on.
There it is.
Hell yeah.
I do not have any exciting updates today, though.
Me neither. I watched Long Legs, though. Seriously, that movie's really good.
I think you told me about it last week. Now that I think about it, because I was thinking about it, I'm like, this sounds very familiar once we start talking about it a little more. So I think you told me about it, if not last week, recently. So I'll have to check it out and see.
All right, that works.